Hello, welcome back to Jason in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be making pasta with meat sauce and garlic bread, and we're going to be using shell pasta today for that. But first we need to get started with the garlic butter, and we start with the roasted garlic. Okay, to roast a head of garlic, what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife, we're going to cut off the tip, just like that. Okay. Then we're going to put it in a piece of foil. And we're going to drizzle some olive oil on top, or any kind of oil that you have. You can season it if you want. I'm not going to season it this time. Wrap it up. Okay. Now what you do is you put this in a 400-degree oven and you roast it for about 45 minutes. You can start to smell it when it's ready. Alright, so in the oven we go, just right on the rack, and we'll be back in 40 minutes. You could also roast your garlic in a pan on the stove over medium to medium low heat. Just turn it until they blacken. Make sure you leave the cloves in the skin, and just keep turning them until they're soft. Alright, so our roasted garlic is ready. I lost track of time, but I could smell it, and it's nice and soft now. It's still really hot, so I'm going to let that cool a little bit before we squeeze out the cloves. Alright, so take your roasted garlic and squeeze it into a bowl. It should just come right out. Alright, so we got our roasted garlic in the bowl. Just take a fork and just kind of mash it up a little bit. That way you get a paste. If you get a little bit of skin, just take that out. Alright, there we go. We got our garlic paste, roasted garlic paste. Alright, here are our ingredients for our garlic butter. We've got a clove of roasted garlic paste here. We've got 1 stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, about a teaspoon of chopped thyme. You can also use chopped parsley, Italian parsley, or you can use a mixture of herbs, or you could just leave that out. And then we have some kosher salt. Alright, so we're just going to put everything into the bowl. Start with our butter, our olive oil, our thyme, and for the salt, I'm going to add just a couple pinches, maybe 1.5 pinches there. Then I'm going to mash it up again with our fork. Make sure your butter is soft at room temperature, and then this will mix very easily together. Okay. It's mixed up good. Now if you're using salted butter, you don't have to add this kosher salt. If you want to, I know that's enough, but if you want to, you can take a little bit and taste it. And taste for your salt level to see if you need more. That's good for me right there. Now if it's about time for you to make your garlic bread, you don't have to do this at all. You can just leave it in the bowl, wrap it, or cover it until you're ready to use it. but for now I'm making this a little ahead of time, so I'm going to put this in some plastic. You can actually make a big batch of this. This will refrigerate and it will freeze very well. Just make sure you put it all in your plastic, spread it out. Okay. And we're just going to roll it up into a cylinder type shape. There we go. Roll up the ends, make sure it's nice and tight. Then what you want to do is put a label on this, especially if you're going to save it. Put the name of the butter, especially if you make different kinds of butters. Put your label on it, put it in the refrigerator, let it solidify, and you have garlic butter whenever you need it. You can use it for garlic bread, you can use it to saute vegetables, for steaks. I mean, there's so many different uses for garlic butter or any kind of flavored butter. Okay, so the ingredients for our meat sauce, we have some extra virgin olive oil. I've got like 1/3 cup of finely minced onion. I just do that because my son doesn't like onion, so I try to hide it in there. You can cut it bigger or leave it out, whatever you want. I've got a pound of ground beef here. It's 85/15. I wouldn't go any lower than that. Usually I like to use 80/20. This is a grass-fed beef, but use whatever you have. We have oregano, basil, kosher salt. We've got just a pinch of red chili flake. We've got pepper to grind. I use a pepper blend, but you can use just black pepper, is fine. I've got a can of San Marzano peeled tomatoes. Use whatever tomatoes that you like. I happen to like the San Marzanos from Italy. Not the San Marzano style, but the ones from Italy. To me, they seem to be less acidic and they have a sweeter flavor. Then we have some tomato paste, a whole can. And then we have some minced garlic there. We've got 3 cloves that I just put through a garlic press, but you can chop it, you can slice it however you like it, or leave it out if you don't like garlic at all. Alright, what we want to do is take our can of tomatoes, put it into a bowl. Then we want to take a potato masher and go ahead and mash those down. You can use your hands if you want, but I prefer to use a potato masher to keep everything clean. You can do this in your saute pan as well, but sometimes it sprays out onto the stove and stuff and you just have extra things to wipe down over there. But either way, however you want to do it. And you don't want to get it too fine, you just want to kind of break down that tomato a little bit. And that's it. They're ready to go. Alright, we've got our pot of water on the stove coming to a boil. I've got my saute pan heating up. And then we've got our oven on 350 for the garlic bread. So we are all set and ready to go. Alright, so I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil and put it in our pan. You can use whatever kind of oil you want. I got about 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil there. Just enough to really coat the bottom. Now what I want to do is check the heat. I have an infrared thermometer. Make sure it's hot enough. You can, if you see the oil shimmer and move around, you can tell it's hot. Or before you put the oil, you can splash some water in there with your fingertips, just a few drops, and if it sizzles, it's ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is put our onion in. Oh, you can smell that olive oil. It smells so good. We're going to saute this for a little bit before we put in our ground meat. We want this onion to soften up before we put in our ground beef, so we'll be back in a minute. All right, our onion is cooked, and now we're going to add our ground beef. Now we want to start breaking this down into very little pieces. Get in there and break it up. It's good to have one of these wooden spoons or something like it so you can really get in here and break that meat up. This is a meat sauce, not a bolognese, but I know with the bolognese some people use a potato masher as well. You know, that might be easy for you to do as well. Just depends on how chunky, I guess, you want your sauce to be. Alright, we got this pretty well broken down, and we're going to get that onion mixed in there so we can hide it. We need to season at this point, so we're going to put in a couple pinches of salt. Really good ones, because you're going to season everything here. We're going to go back and re-season later. Put our pepper. Our basil. And our oregano. You just put it in to taste. When I'm cooking, I really don't measure unless I'm making something new or baking, but pretty much when I cook dinner, it's just all eyeballing. And then you want to taste and then re-season later, so tasting is very important, so you know that you've seasoned everything correctly. Alright, now we just want to wait till that browns up a little bit, still seeing a little bit of pink, and then we'll add our tomato paste. Alright, meat's looking good. I'm going to make a little well in the center here. I'm going to take our tomato paste in a small spatula, use a small spoon. If you have baby spoons, that works good too. But we're going to put that right in the middle there. Make sure you get it all out of there. Use the spoon to help you get it off of there. Go around again. Make sure we get it all. All right. I use the whole can because I don't like to have leftover tomato paste in the refrigerator. I only really use it when I make this meat sauce, or sometimes if I make a certain kind of pizza sauce, I'll use it. So that's why I like to use the whole jar or the whole can. Sometimes I buy little glass jars when I can find it. I like that kind a lot. But put it in the middle here, stir it around. What we're wanting this to do is kind of caramelize a little bit before we mix it with the meat. This is going to add some body, and it's going to add, the tomato paste adds the body, but the letting it caramelize like this is going to add another layer of flavor. So when this cooks a little bit, starts to caramelize, we're going to mix it with the rest of the beef. Alright, our pasta water's come to a boil now, so I'm going to salt it now. We want to add a good amount of salt because this is what's going to season our pasta. So we need it pretty salty. So we're going to let it come back to a boil. We're going to make sure all that salt is dissolved in there. Usually just takes a few seconds. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Now you can use any kind of pasta you want. Usually we have spaghetti or something like that, but just depends what you had on hand. Costco sells these variety packs of pasta. You get shells, penne, and fusilli, and they're organic bronze cut pastas, and they are really good. So it's a good quality pasta, but you can use whatever pasta you want. Everything works for your family. So I'm going to put the pasta in. This is it right here. It's a Rumo brand. I'm going to stir it around a little bit. We got shells here. Stir that up, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. The directions say that's going to take 11 minutes. So we're going to check it at 10 minutes because we want it al dente. But then we also need a little bit left for the pasta to absorb some of that sauce. Alright, our ground beef now is mixed in with that tomato paste. It's cooked down. Now we're going to add our garlic. We're going to add it right before we put in our sauce. That way the garlic doesn't burn. Going to mix that in there. And then when you smell the garlic, that's usually when you're ready to go. It only takes a few seconds. Last thing you want to do is burn that garlic. It does not taste well at all. And it will taste throughout the whole sauce. Alright, so there goes our crushed tomatoes. Okay, we're going to mix this in. Really good. Make sure you get in between and get all that sauce mixed in with the ground beef. Alright, and there we go. We're going to let that cook for a few minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to taste it and we're going to reseason it and see where we are. Alright, we got our bread here for our garlic bread. We got this 3 cheese bread that my son Jason picked out at the grocery store. Sometimes I do make my own bread, but I didn't have time today. Usually with bread you got to start in the morning or the day before. So just get a good quality bread or whatever bread you like from the store. And we're going to cut that in half. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven, right on the oven rack, and to toast it. And we've already got our garlic butter that we made. We've got it sitting out so it softens up a little bit. And then we're going to put this in the oven until it crisps up, probably about 5 minutes or so. And we'll check it and we should be good to go. Alright, we've given our sauce and our meat time to get together. We're going to stir it around. That only took a few minutes, probably about 5 minutes right there. And we're on medium heat here. I forgot to say that. You have to forgive me. I'm not used to talking while I'm cooking like this, so it's a learning experience for me. But we're going to get there. All right. It's looking good. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to taste it. Since we added that tomato sauce, we need to taste it for seasoning again. Wow, that's good. I love those tomatoes. We need a little bit more salt. So I'm going to put 2 medium pinches in there or so. I'm going to put a little bit more basil. And we're going to put some more oregano. And we're going to put some more pepper. And last but not least, we need to put in some chili flake. You can put in as much as you want, however spicy you like it. I just like a little pinch. Now, whenever you re-season, give the sauce a minute or two to absorb those seasonings. If you taste it right away, it's going to taste differently in a few minutes than it will right away. So we're going to make sure we stir that in real good. We're going to continue to let that cook down. And then we'll taste it again, see how we're doing. All right, our pasta is done. So, before your pasta is done, you want to make sure you have your strainer ready in the sink. You don't want to be running around trying to find a strainer and empty out your sink or whatever, and then the pasta's ready. So now we have our sauce. Let's taste it. It's ready. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn off our sauce, and I'm going to pour it into our pasta. Make sure we get all of that in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix all this together. I want to make sure all of that pasta is coated with that meat sauce. Okay, so now once all of our pasta is coated, it's still really hot. So we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. And what's going to happen is that pasta is going to absorb some of that sauce, and it's going to be really good. Now, if you don't like your pasta like this, if you like it more saucy or really saucy, leave your sauce on the side, put your pasta on the plate, and put your sauce on top. This is how we like it. I really like it like this. It's the pasta is sauced enough really right here, but like I said, this is cooking. You're cooking for your family. You cook it how you and your family like it. If you've never tried it this way, you should try it and see what you think. I think you'll really like it. All right, our garlic bread, well, not our garlic bread yet. Our bread is nice and toasted for our garlic bread. Now we're going to take our garlic butter and we're going to spread that all over the top and let that melt in there really good. And the reason I don't put a whole lot of garlic in the meat sauce is because we have garlic bread, and it's garlic bread. Has a good strong garlic flavor, but it's not harsh because we roasted it to put into our butter. So I just like to spread this around. I like to use a spoon. You can use whatever you like. It makes it easy for you. Hear that crunch on that bread. Mix that all the way around. Make sure you get it everywhere as best you can. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right. There's our garlic bread. Now, if you want to, you can sprinkle some parsley on there if you want to. We have the thyme in there, so it's up to you. All right, look at that. It's all plated up. You can see how that sauce has been absorbed by the pasta, but it's still moist. Now what we want to do is take some Parmesan cheese. You can use Romano cheese, and we're gonna just grate that on top. Costco has a great price on Parmigiano Reggiano, but you can use whatever cheese you like. And if you like it finer, you can get one of those box graters and just grate it on the fine setting and get more like the powder. One of the Italian restaurants I worked at, we used to come around with a cheese grater that spins. And I'll never forget, one of the little girls used to say it was Italian snow coming down on our pasta. So we got our Italian snow on top. We're going to sprinkle it with Italian parsley if you have it. You don't have to do this. Mason likes herbs, but he won't eat vegetables, so this is okay for him. Teenagers. All right, now we're going to put our garlic bread on there that I've already sliced up using a serrated knife. I'll put 2 pieces on the plate, but you know, none of it's going to be left by the time we're done eating. Oh, and a side note, while I was waiting for the pasta to get ready, you know, always clean as you go. I went ahead and did the dishes, which will make Yvette very happy. And now we are ready to eat. Doesn't that look good? I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite meals. Spaghetti or pasta with a meat sauce with garlic bread. Wow. I can't wait to dig into that. So that's it for tonight. Dinner is ready. We are going to eat. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, God bless you. Thank you for watching.